In this video, what we're going to be covering is if you are interested in creating a logo with like the characters only and don't want to spend too much time. So this we're going to keep this logo very simple. So basically what the idea I had in my mind was like, what if we just want to create the logo with the English alphabets? So let's get started. We'll put uh, like one thing is that like you start writing something here, and let's just start with the GT stroke fill it with some color, stroke remove it for right now. So again we wanna change the font, make it 144 to make it big. So let's say uh, we have these two characters in GT. Couple of things you can do, like if you have a company, like let's say Alex, like you could have any kind of company, right? Like let's take example of Dunkin' Donut here. So you would put uh, DD, right? And then for this one, I can do a couple of things. I'm gonna keep mine to GT for common tech, but if you have DD here, put the couple of things. If you just want to keep it a simple logo, you can select a font, right? You can select the color of the font, and then you can go to, like when you are filling it, you can actually select this linear gradient, and it's gonna give it a gradient, right? And when we have the gradient, right? The problem right now is like, well, let me select it first. Why it didn't? So I have it selected, and I am here, but when I go here, okay. So first you select the color. Let's say we have this orange color, then we put a gradient in here. If you think it's too much and you like of a gradient, and you don't want it to be that much blur, you can bring it like close to this one. If you just go all the way, it's not gonna be a gradient, there won't be any gradient, right? If you move it here, it's gonna look like that. And you can change the color and stuff like that. The other things you can do with this logo is like you can actually come here. Let's just make some changes here. We want to keep it GT. Okay, the color I wanted to have is something like that. I don't want so much of a gradient. Okay, and then you can do is like you can come here and do the stroke paint and do the same thing again. Want, if you like gradient, we can keep the gradient, otherwise uh, you can have this fill as a gradient, right? Even bigger, right? So we have a gradient here, but then this is the stroke is plain flat color. So there is another idea. Sometimes what you can do is like while this is selected, you just remove the gradient and the inner color, right? And you just start playing with the stroke. So that is another way of, like, another idea of having the logo. You can have circles around it. Again, for a symmetric circuit, I'm gonna circle, I'm gonna press Control and Shift. In order to align it, you can do this and like select this one and this one, and then go to the align and align them vertically and horizontally. And then again, you can have, if you want to fill it up, you can have this one. In the opacity, you can bring the opacity down, and opacity is down. If you're not into purple colors, let's just make it blue. The fill is gonna be the dark blue, but for that, yeah. And this one you can also do as like, you can bring the circle lower, like go to the, so that the text is above the circle, so you can lower that so that that's is more visible. Still not satisfied with the colors here. This to me is much better. Red is also very, this kind of red is honestly not looking that great. And you can play with the colors a lot in order to come up with the perfect colors. Other thing is like, you can also have one other thing I was going through is that what you can do is to have like the acronyms of the company right over there, and next to it we're gonna put like some thing. Again, fill needs to be there. G. That is good. Apply. Don't want any stroke, but want to fill it with some color, maybe red. Okay. GHUMMUN, and then okay, what I would like to do is like have two of these instead of, so that I can format them differently. Tech. Oops. This one, and we can select multiple by pressing the shift key. Bring the opacity back here to maximum, stuff like that. Then for this one, you can move it here. I'm gonna make this a little bit light. Okay, this one over here. In this particular case, I feel like this G always look to me that this one has G and T in it, so I'm gonna just stick with G only, and then okay, I use the selection tool, move it here and here. Not so flashy. Again, you can always come here, select the red one for, oops, select the shift and then select red in order to do that. The stroke size, I feel it's too much and I can't even see. Okay, and then this one is not that red, so let's make this one red and this one red. Okay, okay, and for this one, this is good, but again, what happens if we make the stroke completely red and this one, and the inner one is gonna be a little bit light, or like that. So that is one way of creating a simple logo by using the fonts.